So I go to pick up my daughter today, and it's going into Labor Day weekend. And as I'm picking her up and getting ready to leave, the director at the after school program asks my daughter, "Do you have anything fun planned this weekend? What are you going to do?" Sorry, I'm opening my locker. And I'm thinking to myself, don't sabotage the weekend with filling her head with an expectation that I wasn't planning on, fulfilling. I think adults have this inherent way of kind of screwing over the next adult with children by asking and doing things like that. Sorry, hold on. Making a bunch of noise here. And as much as it comes with good intentions, you guys got to knock it off. You got to let parents kind of have their own control over the circumstance, because the second that lady asked, my daughter's eyes lit up and she starts looking at me. And now I got to play McScrooge and say, I didn't have anything planned. You know what? Look, times are tough. Single income household, gas prices going up. Like, where are we going to go? I understand that there's things to do, but there are also just things to do around our community. We got a pool. We got a lot of things going on. She's got her friends that she can play with. Why isn't that enough? On top of which, getting more into kind of screwing over adults. Let me sit in the car here. Her school has a 4-day weekend. So not only is it a 3-day weekend with Monday, but they have Friday off, which kind of threw me for a loop. She said, "Dad, we have Friday off too." What do you mean you have Friday off? You're gonna have Monday off. But I guess it's in the name of the parent, or not the parent, but the teacher conferences and stuff like that. I guess that was the notion, that they would just do that going into a weekend, from what I understand. I'm not actually sure if that's the absolute reason, or if just a lot of the teachers already are going crazy, so they need to get that extra day now while they can, and pin it onto a weekend. But like I was saying, guys, don't screw over adults. Here's another one. Gifts. I always appreciate when people think of my kids as far as giving them gifts and stuff like that. But I've gotten some gifts where it's like, don't set me up for things that I don't normally do. For example, getting to like baking and cooking stuff. I understand I have daughters and at times they're young and stuff. We do plenty of cooking, but I don't want to have to go through your 12-step homemade, middle-aged 7-grain bread maker. I don't want that. I don't want that in the house. I don't want to have to go through it. It's messy, and there's a good chance that it's just not going to turn out the way we wanted to anyways. If you want to give me something simple. A 2-step muffin mix or something like that. But even then, you're imposing upon, if you really want to give me something to cook, go to the store and get me, some bow tie pasta. Go get some jars of sauce and things like that I already make and that will feed the house, rather than just a setup of cookies and pastries and things that we don't normally eat in the house anyway. So if you want to get me something to cook, give me something to cook that I would cook in it. How about some ribeyes? How come nobody's giving out porterhouses? Yeah, here, Merry Christmas. Hope you and the kid have a, nice big fat steak or whatever it is. Where's that? Or just give me a gift card to Walmart. Let me go get what I want. And you can say, hey, so you guys can cook together. That we can do. Like some boxes of spaghetti or something like that. Give me some stuff like that where I have a choice in the matter, rather than having to go through a bunch of steps for batters and creams and frostings and all these other things. If it's simple, I'm good. But a lot of times I've gotten some stuff, I'm like, and well, it'll be fun. You guys can make these together. And it's like, yeah, okay. Gifts. I got a gift for my brother, and he's a huge soccer fan. And so when kiddo was about Cheeky's age, um, around like 8 or 9, I want to say, he got her this soccer net. Now, she wasn't a big soccer fan to begin with, but he is. And so he got her like he like always gets the stuff like it's soccer related or Australian rules related because my sister-in-law, she's from Australia, so he's got this worldview of sports that's awesome, and I love him to death. He's the reason I got into sports and stuff. Just watching him be a super agile. Like in high school, he didn't do sports past that, but he was always extremely agile. Like he could jump over things. He had a great vertical. All of these things. But it's your older brother, so I just always looked up to him and marveled. Like when I was probably like 7 or 8, maybe a little older, he'd put me on his shoulders and he would jump in the air and do like a 360. Like I know that it's not super heavy, but that's a impressive feat to not only jump with something on your shoulders or someone on your shoulders, that much weight, but then to navigate yourself into a 360 degree in the air and then stick the landing with balance. So it's just one of those things I always remember. And yeah, that's just, I digress. But so he got me this soccer goal for her. And I'm sure a lot of you know when I'm talking about, it's the new ones where it comes in like a bag, and the bag is like very thin because it's folded, but like in circular motions, and you unleash it and then it pops open like a tent. And then when you're done, you're supposed to know how to fold it back, and it never works. And I opened it once, and from that point on, I just kept bending it worse when I was trying to fold it. And then it's sticking half out of the bag, and like it's circled in one part but oblong in another. So you can't even zip it all the way shut. And then you just give up. And so what I did is I got it as best I could into the bag, and then I just stuffed it between whatever in the wall out back. And that was how I stored it. And to be honest, unfortunately, my daughter, she rarely used it. It wasn't like she was asking to use it. So we used it a couple times in the backyard, and that was about it. So gifts, at least get with the parent, because even though it's still going to be a surprise for the child, I don't need surprises like that in my life at this point. Like, and especially when they immediately are going to want to run outside and do something with it or not do something with it. I'm under this obligation. At least get with me. And everybody's gotten better. My brother's gotten way better. I never said anything about that soccer goal thing, but I think sometimes we just inherently know that we've given a gift that probably isn't going to get used that much, or when you've spoken to your niece and she's never talked about using it. So he's gotten to the point now where he will call or send me a text message and ask, hey, what are they into? Does, this or that? And so then I can give him an idea, and the gifts are sticking the landing now. He's they're so much better than just random gifts that sometimes are kind of like, okay, I don't even know if she's going to use this. And of course, then they ask me, well, do you think she'll use it? I don't know. She's right here. You have to ask her, or you can kind of just see. So, it sets me up, though. It set me up to have to wrestle with this wire configuration of a pop-up tent to get it back in, and it was more aggravation than it probably was worth, to actually go out and get and everything else. And I like to use the gifts that I get, but at the same time, it's like if she's not even using it, or even in the case of like baked goods and things like that, I'm not going to get right to it. I'm just not going to get right to it. So I think in the case of like baked goods, my sister gave us some gingerbread cookies. We didn't cook them. We didn't bake them for like 7 months. It may have been even longer. I'm not like, I would imagine that it's just a mix. So it has a long shelf life, but we didn't use them for quite some time. And maybe that's just me being lazy. But I'm like books. Like give the kid books. And I know that seems boring, but my girls are voracious readers, so it's in their wheelhouse. Or they both grew up playing instruments or music. Those kind of things are definitely just right in their wheelhouse. Even like my brother in Atlanta, he just sent her, a box of shoes. Hey, what size does she wear? It was cowboy boots, it was moccasins, it was all sorts of stuff, and she still wears them. And my youngest still wears them because, they still fit. They're very stylish. And he just hit me up again. He's like, hey, does she need anything? I was like, I mean, she's still wearing the stuff you got her from the last time. So all I'm saying is, like, sometimes don't set the parents up by asking questions that are going to lead the child to believe that they're going on some sort of vacation getaway because it's a holiday weekend, or by giving these gifts that, again, it sets the parent, like, I don't want like a 5 step science kit erector set, mini village, ship in a bottle, model car, from 1935. I don't want any of that stuff. And there's a 95% chance, knowing both of my girls and how they are, that it wasn't going to get completed anyways. So now I've got a ship and half of the Santa Maria, in it. And then there's just a bunch of scattered pieces, lost crewmen, stuck under the couch, or, all of these things that it's just not going to get done. So your best bet, and not just for me, but I'm sure for a lot of other parents are feeling this agony as well, is get with the parents. Get with the parents and give them the right of first refusal. Hey, can I get, your daughter an armadillo? She said she liked one on TV. No, she can't have an armadillo. If you want to get her a stuffed one, that's different. Let's talk about levels. Let's just get to the levels, and also like the expenditures. Don't go too crazy either. The things that they get, especially my girls, their mother and I instilled that they earn what they get as they go. So a lot of times it's been a bigger gift that one of us will get or both of us will get, like a bike or a scooter, or our youngest got like a motorized scooters. If they get like a tablet or a laptop, all those things are in the vein of you've earned them. So while nobody's gone crazy, with stuff like that, the things like books, coloring books, things that'll stimulate their mind are definitely where I and their mother are in agreement that those are the things that you want to give. And those are the things we give to other kids as well, like birthday parties and stuff like that. Go to the dollar store, get some crossword puzzles, colored pencils, markers, things that kids a lot of times just don't get anymore. And fine, if you look like a cheapskate, whatever, but I'm not going to contribute to your child's, carpal tunnel from getting them a video game that they're going to sit and play for hours and hours on end, because a lot of times they're not being challenged with anything else. Now, give them something to go outside, a ball to play with, or anything that's going to promote, just motor skills or cognitive thinking, creative thoughts, any of that stuff. Give that sort of stuff. And it's the kind of stuff that you don't really outgrow, because like a crossword puzzle, things like that, Mad Libs, if you guys remember that, those are things that you can fill in and then you have them. And in a lot of cases, it's almost like a journal. You can look back and look at, the silly answers that you had, sketch pads, just notebooks, any stuff like that. Those are all ideal gifts to give. I don't know how far I've been. How long have I been going? Are any of you still listening at this point? Almost 14 minutes of pure semi rant. I've got a semi going here. It's not a full raging, rant, but it is from, tip to shaft. It's not the full rant like that, but it's a semi. It's not just a casual observation where it's just hanging there. It's a semi. My goodness, where did that go wrong? So I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys like this content, if you've been feeling the pain of what I've been talking about this entire time, have an ace up your sleeve, advice, comment, experience, notifications, subscriptions, likes. And again, the share portion. If you like this content and you think somebody else would too, share it. Even if you want to just send it to somebody and be like, look at this guy, he thinks he's funny. Fine, do that too. Fine, do that too. Share it. Let's get the traffic going. Let's get it up. Let's get things going here. But to all parents doing it right, I salute you. And hopefully this finds everybody in a state of total health, mind, body, and soul. We will see you on the next one, or you will hear me on the next one. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.